Jennings has reportedly ducked Jeopardy's writing staff, who picketed right in front of the studio, to host the first tape day of Season 40. Jeopardy controversially started taping its next season today by reusing clues and past contestants without its writers. The long-running game show began taping Season 40 on Tuesday amid the dual Hollywood strikes. It will debut on September 11. But there was a speed bump for those entering the Sony lot in Culver City, California. Nearly all the writing staff was on strike right outside. Jeopardy's writers were seen boycotting the show head-on for resuming production for the first time since May. WGA West posted on X, "Writers and past contestants showed up at 6 a.m. this morning to picket at Jeopardy, which began filming today with recycled questions." In the photos, head writers Billy Wiss and Michelle Loud stood in front of the Sony gates with about 25 others. No one saw him drive EUP. A WGA member who picketed with the writers exclusively told the U.S. Sun that Ken, 49, didn't drive through the main gates, seemingly skirting a confrontation with his writers. The source shared, "It sounded like most of the writers were there. We didn't get a chance to turn away Ken Jennings because no one saw him drive up. So he either heard there was a picket line and didn't leave home, or he went another route into the production. The picket line was good vibes," they added. Yes, Jennings hosting. A Reddit user claimed that despite the jarring juxtaposition, taping the first episodes of the upcoming season with a live audience did go on as planned. They wrote, "Oak, I'm actually here at Sony now waiting to attend the afternoon taping. By all appearances, they have not canceled the taping. There isn't any staff out here yet, but I think the guards would have said something by now if it was canceled." When asked if Ken is hosting, they replied, "Yes, he was." And at the end of the taping, Ken told everyone his son Dylan was in the audience. The U.S. Sun has reached out to Jeopardy reps for comment. Ian collapsed back. Ken shares hosting duties with Mayim Bialik, 47, who bowed out of hosting the final week of the last season due to the strike, as reported by Deadline, and Ken stepped back in. Ken was criticized as a so-called scab by fans and actors to wrap things up and return to set in the spring. The game show legend's latest tweet also suggested he will be back behind the host podium for fall's new episodes. On Saturday, a disgruntled fan called out Ken on X, formerly known as Twitter. They posted, "Ken Jennings, you're a disgrace if you're trying to cross picket lines. Alex Trebek would never do anything of the sort. He would turn over his grave seeing you act like that." The star replied with a screenshot of Sony's recent statement about the upcoming 40th season. Jeopardy has a long history with and tremendous respect for the WGA and our writers. We have always been careful to honor our WGA agreements, and we would never air game material not created by WGA writers. He then highlighted the following section. However, just as we did, led by Alex Trebek, during the 2007 to 2008 strike, we will deliver first-run episodes again this fall. No writers, no puro bilayim. While viewers have been watching summer reruns, it was announced that Season 40 will debut on September 11 with a huge change. Showrunner Michael Davies shared that since the writers are still on strike, Season 40 will be composed of recycled versions of old questions from years past. Regular episodes consisting of new contestants will not be airing either. Instead, the show will rely on former players from Season 37 and Season 38. Michael said on the podcast Inside Jeopardy that the content will be a combination of material that our WGA writers wrote before the strike, which is still in the database, and material that has been redeployed from multiple seasons of the show. I also believe, principally, that it would not be fair to have new contestants making their first appearance with non-original material. He shared, "So, we're going to open the season with a second chance tournament for players from Season 37 who lost their initial game. And winners from that will advance to a Season 37 and Season 38 champions wildcard. However, several Season 37 and 38 contestants have stated they would not participate in the new episodes until the strike was resolved." This comes after the 2023 Tournament of Champions was postponed when nearly all of the champs involved boycotted competing until the strike was resolved and new clues were written. Jennings, Amy, and Mattea blast Jeopardy. Major stars have already slammed the move to film using recycled questions and putting even former contestants in such a tricky position. The legendary James Holzhauer wasn't happy with the news and took to social media just hours after the showrunner's statement. He wrote, "If you don't have time to listen, here's the executive summary of today's announcement. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Jeopardy's writers are invaluable, and we couldn't produce the show without them. 2 o'clock, 15 o'clock. Here is how we will produce the upcoming season without them." Fan favorite Mattea Roach, 24, blasted the move earlier. It would be preferable for the season to not commence with new episodes until the strike is resolved. Amy Schneider tweeted, "Disappointed to hear that Jeopardy is considering this course of action. For what it's worth, I, too, will not be participating in any Jeopardy productions that don't use new clues written by their amazing, unionized writers under a fair, collectively bargained contract. No Jeopardy. Without U.S. In May, the trivia show was impacted by the Writers Guild of America strike, now a dual strike with SAG-AFTRA, since its entire writing staff is WGA members. The Writers Guild of America announced on May 1 that it was going on strike after weeks of talks with Netflix, Amazon, Sony, Jeopardy's parent company, and more fell through. Picket lines assembled the following day as writers protested over their contracts and pay, since SAG-AFTRA joined and put all Hollywood's projects in existential question. Head writers Wiss and Loud recently told Variety, "Our words are on the screen every night. There is no Jeopardy without writers. Without us, it's just an empty blue screen." They continued, "They're asking some people to work day to day. Another Jeopardy," writer said, supporting those going through mini-room experiences of even smaller writing staffs on streaming platform shows. "They never tried to make it a gig economy before," Billy Wiss said. "There was always some sense that writers were partners in it."